Camden Falls Gallery, welcome to our homecoming show 2020. It's our first show of the season. Behind me you'll see the works of Ryan Kohler. He's a new artist for the gallery, young artist from Skowhegan, Maine. We are his first gallery representation, and you'll see in his work a youthful exuberance. His work on the far left-hand side here with the palette knife and layered color in the two pieces to the far left is just unbelievable. You'll never see water painted like this. Two pieces that have the bottom 2/3 of the painting is water really abstracts the piece where in the motion of the water you see whatever your eye sees. For me, here it was an Atlantic brown sturgeon coming down to the bottom of this boat, and I commented it to Ryan because the sturgeon are now back in the rivers up here and they're an amazing fish. But his work just draws you in. It's wild. He must have a gas doing it, and actually on the video you'll see he's done the music in it as well. Here, composition with yellow ladder is more as what he's working with last year, where you have almost a Cubics feel to the painting, and his color blocking is really just wonderful. The color and the light coming in. I like again, all of his pieces are going to have play to the eye. You're going to look at the piece and you're just not going to see what's in front of your face. Your eyes will take it in and your mind is going to interpret it in a different way. Here, obviously, solitude, but look at the blend of colors. Behind us, again, perhaps a little bit of solitude, that eerie sort of feel of the shadowed maple tree coming across the threshold and the steps and the door to the house. It creates an atmosphere that you either want to go into the house or you're wondering. I'll stop with that right there. But right here, the last piece here, you'll see in the video that follows us here, it's called Part C. And Ryan has prepared a video of this painting going from canvas, the very beginning, all the way up to and finishing with the painting framed. Again, the artist is Ryan Kohler. Thank you for joining us, folks. Enjoy the show and good day.
My name is Ryan Kohler, and I am here in my studio in Skowhegan, Maine. What you are about to see is a short video demonstrating how a painting is made from beginning to end in hyperspeed. For the first major chunk of the video, I will be using acrylics with various flat brushes, and eventually I will switch to oils and continue working with a variety of palette knives and brushes. It's a technique that I think utilizes the best qualities of both mediums. Acrylics for the fast workflow and quick drying time, and oils for the rich colors and impasto surface quality. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day. So to start, I apply a thin wash of burnt sienna to get rid of the white on the canvas. Just a touch of this color will be peeking through in the finished painting, so it's nice to have a neutral color that's on the warm side. It sometimes helps to unify the painting and adds a nice glowing effect. I tend not to sketch on paper too much. I like seeing the corrections right on the canvas. At this point, I'm not worrying about any shading or fine details. Just an overall sense of what major shapes will be on the canvas, and I'm setting up the composition, which is definitely important. In this case, I'm working from a photograph, so the composition is already worked out in the same ratio as the canvas I'm painting on, which definitely makes it easier, but there's always still potential to screw things up, so I want to make sure it's right before moving on with the next steps in the painting process. The further along in the process I go, the harder it is to make major changes, so it's worth the time to plan early on and get things right. can now see that I've started working with color. These are acrylics, mostly Liquitex. Brand doesn't really matter. If you are looking to start painting at home, use the best materials that are available to you, and you will typically be better off. However, I've used my fair share of cheap paints on pizza boxes and found wood, so anything works. It's all good practice. Using quality materials is important, but the ability to manipulate your materials in creative ways that suit you is far more valuable than any store-bought product you could ever buy. I'm blocking in mostly local color here, mixing as I go. I do not pre-mix piles of color. It's fun to adjust and mix colors on the fly while looking at my reference photo. I want colors and values to be pretty accurate, but I don't really stress if things aren't exactly perfect. This phase is more about setting the mood and creating an energy more than getting specific. Some paintings end up having mostly oil paint visible. Some paintings end up having mostly acrylic paint visible. It's crazy to think I spend so much time on a painting that will eventually get painted over. But it's worth it to have such a solid map and blueprint for the rest of the painting process. It's a good idea at this point in time also to start thinking about where broken edges should be. It's easy and effective to soften the edges where two color areas meet that are similar in value, but I like breaking edges in high contrast areas too, for a more dramatic effect. The focal point of this painting is definitely the tip of the bow of the boat, with the ropes and sail as secondary points of interest. I'm being as descriptive as I can in these areas, while being careful not to be too literal. All other areas I consider fair game for abstraction. Blurred edges and swoops of runny paint pushed around with a rubber chisel are some of the more common techniques I use to achieve variety and energy throughout the surface. Once I switch to oils, I say goodbye to acrylics for good until the next painting. I use a diamond blade palette knife with a lot of flex for most of my oil work, and another smaller blade for details. I have a variety of silicone wedges and paint pushers that I use to activate areas of the painting that are sometimes too pretty or too pristine and need energy. Sometimes it's all about just having fun, fumbling around and taking the time to play like a kid in a mud puddle. Variety is a key ingredient in my work. A variety of colors, paint marks, edge work, and even paint thickness. A variety of color brilliancy is important too. Without a variety of grays and muted colors, the more brilliant colors can sometimes become circusy and obnoxious, and therefore ineffective. I hope this was helpful and provided some insight into my thoughts and techniques that I use every day as a painter. I wish you all the best of luck with your own paintings, and don't forget to have fun with it. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.